A lot of this anti-Israel material, propaganda, whatever you want to call it, it gains root and traction. My next guest has actually given a great deal of time to studying just that, where it comes from and where it's going. Natasha Hausdorff is her name, the barrister, the legal director of charitable trust at UK Lawyers for Israel. Natasha, thank you for joining us. How does this happen? I can see it being sympathetic to the plight of the Palestinians, extending that to Hamas and these attacks seems to be another matter, but where does it come from?
Well, it's good to be with you, Neil, and it's absolutely right that we're unfortunately seeing exactly the same thing on this side of the Atlantic. I agree with your previous contributors, though, that this is perhaps not a surprise. It is nothing new, and it has certainly been decades in the making. There's certainly parallels, perhaps, to draw with what we're seeing on university college campuses around the world and what we saw on the 7th of October, because both stem from an educational route. If I may, perhaps with some background remark, that 3,000 people don't just get up one morning and decide it's a good day to slaughter Jews. You don't create 3,000 people who are able to commit these atrocities that we've been hearing about without intensive brainwashing. And we've seen 30 years of brainwashing as a result of Palestinian control over the education system. That's included Western-funded textbooks demonizing Israel and Israelis and calling for the slaughter of Jewish civilians and exalting martyrdom. And it's through intensive brainwashing that we saw the effects on on October the 7th. UN statistics would indicate that 3 out of the 4 terrorists who butchered, burned and raped on that day grew up and were educated in the UNRWA school system, teaching the curriculum of the Palestinian Authority. Now, none of that has been hidden, in the same way that none of the radicalization on campuses has been hidden. It's been remarked on repeatedly by NGOs, and unfortunately, nothing has been done to address it yet.
You're talking about non-government organizations, and you're quite right about that, Natasha. But one of the things that I found remarkable is I could almost see a growing concern about the Israeli response, whether it was proportionate to the attacks. We can have a debate about that. But I noticed that I just so happened to be on the air the morning of the attacks on a Saturday, October 7th. By the end of my broadcast, 2 hours later, there were already protests in place against Israel. Israel hadn't done anything in response at that time. We knew a lot of the details of the butchering of all of these individuals, hundreds, over 1,000. And yet the protests were on in favor of the Palestinians and, by tacit extension, Hamas. And I thought, OK, that's a little weird.
I think that's absolutely right, Neil. And that is evidence, of course, that these protests aren't in opposition to Israel. Right. They are in support of the slaughter that was carried out. And, of course, the continuing attacks against Israeli civilians. There was perhaps the biggest rocket barrage since that Saturday, only today. And that's something that we need to bear in mind as these protests, rallies in favor of Palestinian terror organizations, not just Hamas. I have to stress that in terms of the terrorists that crossed the border on the 7th of October, they included Palestinian Islamic Jihad, members of the PFLP, affiliated with the PLO, Fatah from the West Bank. So this is a much broader problem than just Hamas. And as I say, in both respects, I think it stems from deep-rooted problems with education and, of course, also incentives to terror in other respects. I'm sure you and your viewers are familiar with the pay-for-slay program, entrenched in Palestinian law, paying monthly financial rewards to all terrorists involved in the fight against Israel, including Hamas. And in fact, those responsible for the attack on the 7th of October, including Ali Kadi, the commander of the Nukhbas force, has received such a terror salary even after his release in 2011 in the Gilad Shalit exchange. So there is a great deal that has to be addressed by the international community in terms of education and funding and incitement to terror, as well as this sort of incitement at universities, which is leading to this hate on the streets of Western civilized democracies.
Yeah, and to your point, Natasha, it is worldwide. Natasha, thank you very much. We'll keep monitoring this and hope to have you back.